What if I told you the greatest empire in history didn't fall from weakness, but from absolute power? In Rome, power didn't just rule nations, it slowly destroyed the minds of the men who held it.
Because here, the emperor wasn't just a ruler. He was treated like a living god.
And once a man believes he is divine, madness is never far behind. At first, Rome feared kings. Absolute power was forbidden.
But as the empire expanded, fear demanded control, and control demanded one man.
Power concentrated, voices silenced, and resistance became treason. What no one realized was that the empire had just crowned its own destruction. Caligula began as Rome's hope, until absolute power shattered his sanity.
He demanded worship, mocked the Senate, and ruled through terror.
Lives were taken on a whim. Executions became entertainment.
He didn't pretend to be divine. He demanded it be acknowledged. But when fear replaces loyalty, even gods can bleed. Caligula's death didn't end the madness. It taught Rome nothing.
Nero didn't want to rule Rome. He wanted to be adored by it.
Art became law. Applause became survival.
And when Rome burned, Nero watched, unmoved.
Blame followed. Fear followed. Violence followed.
But Rome would soon face a ruler even more dangerous.
Commodus didn't want to be a god. He wanted to be a legend.
So he turned the empire into a stage, and himself into the spectacle.
While Rome starved, its emperor fought for applause.
Politics collapsed. Governance vanished. Madness ruled. The empire didn't collapse in a single moment. It rotted slowly, from the top down. An empire built on fear can only last so long. Rome conquered the world, but never conquered itself. Because absolute power doesn't just corrupt, it consumes. And when power becomes madness, even empires fall.
If this story shook you, remember it. History always repeats itself.
If history's darkest moments fascinate you, subscribe, because power always leaves a trace. After the mad emperors fell, Rome stood powerful, but deeply wounded.
Trust was gone. Fear had become Rome's true ruler.
Now, emperors were chosen not by wisdom, but by whoever controlled the swords. And once power was for sale, betrayal became inevitable.
Every ruler knew the truth. The throne was a death sentence.
The Senate still existed, but its voice
was already dead.
Violence was no longer shocking. It was routine.
While emperors obsessed over control, the empire itself began to rot.
The legions still marched, but the belief was gone. And beyond Rome's borders, enemies were watching. They saw weakness where Rome once showed fearlessness. The madness at the top had finally reached the edges. Warnings arrived, but no one was listening.
Because absolute power isolates before it destroys.
Rome had turned its rulers into gods, then into monsters, then into ruins. The fall wasn't sudden. It was earned. Knowledge faded. Institutions collapsed. Memory burned. And the question remained, could Rome have been saved?
Because the final chapter of Rome would be written in war.
Rome still called itself eternal, even as the illusion crumbled. Rulers tried to command loyalty with laws instead of earning it. The wealth was gone. Only symbols of power remained.
What once unified millions now barely held itself together.
People stopped believing in Rome and began to leave it behind. But the final blow wouldn't come from within. It would come from those who sensed Rome's weakness. An empire built on fear could no longer inspire sacrifice.
When belief dies, defeat follows.
Rome didn't fall in a day, but this was the moment it stopped standing.
The gods were silent. The throne was empty.
Absolute power had promised eternity and delivered extinction.
Empires change. The lesson does not. When power becomes madness, history repeats itself. The Roman Empire fell long before the last wall collapsed.
After the screams faded, Rome was left with silence.
Silence is what remains when belief dies.
No emperor could command what was already lost.
The people survived, but the empire did not.
They remembered when Rome felt eternal.
Power once promised protection, then demanded obedience.
And obedience never saved anyone. So why do empires repeat the same mistake?
Because memory fades faster than ambition.
Every generation believes it will be different.
Every generation is wrong.
Rome didn't just fall, it echoed forward. Its warnings were written in stone. But few ever read them. The empire is gone. The pattern remains. Power always believes it is different.
It never is.
Absolute power demands worship.
Then consumes everything else.
History remembers what power tries to forget.
The fall of Rome was not an accident.
It was a choice, repeated for centuries.
When power becomes madness, collapse is inevitable.
Rome warned the world. The world didn't listen.